Yeah. So I wouldn't move on, kind of change gears here a little bit away from this. Talk about tariffs, which keep coming up. They change from day to day and week to week. It seems now we've got a couple developments in that department this week. So first of all, this thing called a de minimis tariff exemption is ending. Trump signed an executive order to end de minimis rule late last month. Under this policy, shipments under $800 were exempt from duties or tariffs. This was the way some discount retailers like Shein and Temu were selling products into the U.S. at like a huge discount. That had already ended. Trump had ended that exception for China previously. But, beginning this week, a growing list of at least 25 countries has announced that they will no longer ship certain small packages to the U.S. as the de minimis tariff exemptions are expired. Michael, you cutting back on your Temu purchases?
There we go. Yeah. Well, I try not to shop there anyway. But this whole it's just another game that he wants to play, manipulate the market. He's like a little child that's like, whoa, look what I can do. And whether it's a child on when they figure out Steam on a window, right? And they're just putting handprints everywhere and their face on the window and making lips and the little footprint with your hand and the dot. Like he's just like, oh look, let me try this with the market. Let me try this with the market. Like there's lots of things. Like can we maybe balance trade in a way that is good for our markets, their markets. However, probably it could probably be improved. But the way it's being handled is not. It's like again, it's just a child throwing, rolling dice and using these huge fluctuations from these declarations to gain profits, for his insider folks.
So hear me out. Now, I don't know how this pertains to all these other countries, but at least with China and you're thinking about Shein and Temu and stuff like that. I mean, I do think that that's a pretty inefficient, really carbon intensive business model. Like, I don't think we want to encourage a lot of small packages like this shipped overseas. Am I just looking for a silver lining here, Ethan?
I mean, buddy, grab them wherever you can, pin them up on the ceiling. Like, yes. Let's see tariffs move trade towards a more carbon neutral direction. Sure, by halting trade. I mean, and it's like, and the thing for me is that like we're talking about punishing the very poor overseas and punishing the very poor in the United States. That's what this does. Like these small packages, obviously places like Japan can be like, okay, we're just not going to do that anymore. It's too expensive. But Cambodia, Laos, like Thailand, places where like clothing is made, places where there's lots of manufacturing, they don't have that choice. Their entire economy is dependent on sending things overseas, sending things to big purchasers like the United States, primarily to low-income people in the United States who are buying cheap goods from overseas, right? We all know this. But so it's like this is who is being hurt. This is who's being hurt by the de minimis exemption going away. It is really low-income countries selling really cheap goods to low-income Americans, and that's who it's going to hurt the most. Like when the initial tariffs rolled out, if they had not immediately been rolled back, which we all make fun of now, but it's not, to do the ha-ha, it's like the economy of Cambodia would have collapsed, like with the original tariffs that were declared on it, right? Like it would have been a disaster. And so, yeah, that whenever I see the de minimis exemption, I'm like, oh, this is an interesting new way to punish the lowest income people in the world, including here in the United States. So.
Interesting. I hadn't looked at it from that angle. Well, so Renee, listen, it doesn't end with just the de minimis tariff. So there's more tariff news, and this one is maybe good news. We'll see. So most of Trump's tariffs were ruled illegal by a federal appeals court, dealing a major blow to Trump's trade policy, at least according to this article from CNBC. Now, the appeals court ruled on Friday that most of Trump's global tariffs are illegal, striking a massive blow to the core of his aggressive trade policy. In the ruling, which was 7-4, the court in a 7-4 ruling ruled that when Trump granted his most expansive tariffs, including his reciprocal tariffs, he's not actually granted the power to impose these tariffs under the law that he invoked. They say the core congressional power to impose taxes such as tariffs is vested exclusively in the legislative branch by the Constitution. Tariffs are a core congressional power. Now, the appellate court paused its ruling from taking effect until October 14th in order to give the Trump administration time to ask the Supreme Court to reverse the decision. Now, Renee, they're just going to give him whatever he wants, right?
I mean, I hope not. October 14th is my mom's birthday, so there's always a chance for hope, right?
Well, maybe she'll get a favorable ruling from swing Bohemian Cody Barrett on her birthday.
Here's the thing. I mean, she is a it's fine. It's just ridiculous. Like, the thing that he's doing and his administration is doing is they let him say all of the things. None of this, it's going back to the Bible, the man who builds his house on the sand instead of on the rock, right? So, thank you. And so it's from day one of January 20th, and all of the things that have happened from I wish I had one of those things I need to hold my name. I can sign papers in marker and hold them up and smile as well, right? However, it turns out if you spray a bottle of water at it, it will run, right? And the whole, Trump is an actor. And the Heritage Foundation that is actually running the administration saw the fool, right? And they were like, oh, he can get people to follow him. He's a great actor. Let's use his face to get all of these people to believe the bullshit. And then we'll tell them that we're doing things. We'll tell them that we're implementing things. We'll tell them that there's an executive order when there's no foundation to it. And so it makes me a little upset and sad at the same time for anyone and everyone who is seeing this and they're fearful, and there are people getting ulcers, and there are people who are wanting to hide, and our news stations that are trying to say this is not foundational and he can't get away with it, then they call them fake news, right? If you watch the documentary Bad Faith, you will see that the check marks going down the list. And the truth of all of it is there is no structure or foundation to any of these little, I've signed my name on this and here's an executive order. There's no structure to it. And so there's the fear really for me is that people don't recognize that the structure is not there, and they go along with the crazy because they heard it on the news or out of the White House. And we have to acknowledge that these things are not foundational truths. They've not been signed into law. And Ruth Bader Ginsburg, there was the RBG documentary that I watched a while back, and she said, when I was put on the Supreme Court, there's the conservative and the liberal, and there's everything in between. And the purpose is to have the in between so that we can all have a voice And so when you ask that, and I say, I hope not, I really do hope that there is some guardrails, someone with any bit of a backbone that will start to say, I have to have my integrity when I come out of the other side of this. Like, where are you at the end? Because this is not going to stand. This is a foundation being built on the sand. And when it falls, everyone whose name is on that list, from Aaron Houchin to Beckwith to Braun to the whole way to watch, all of them are going there. This is history. And it's not going to look well when it comes back up. Sorry.
Well, listen, if these folks have their way, they will rewrite the new history, and they will be the victors.
They
but you have so many things there.
There's enough people. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Yes, and there's enough. They can't erase everything. Like, I hate what they're doing at the museum in Washington, right? They're gonna try, but there are people with integrity. There are backups of truth.
And occasionally, the Supreme Court will surprise you. You know, they throw a bone every now and then. Maybe this will be one that we get. But